I'm showing 2 films. The first is called Vivian's Garden, which I made in 2017 in Guatemala, or shot in Panajachel in Guatemala. And I finished it over the course of a year and a half in London. I made 4 trips to visit Vivian Suter, the artist, and her mother, Elizabeth Wilde, who have created a kind of, let's say, matriarchal compound where they're both living and making their work every day. They each have a house in this kind of garden, which is really a jungle. It's a coffee plantation, actually, old coffee plantation, which is grown beautifully wild. And Vivian's been there since the 1980s. She had her son there, and more recently, her mother came to live with her when her mother became old. And their background is that they are Swiss-Austrian, and I was invited to go there by Documenta exhibition by Adam Szymczyk, and I went and I found this very, very kind of interesting way of life and way of living together and caring for one another and making their work on a kind of daily basis.
But then they were also sometimes nice. I mean, the kids were nice.
The other film is called Part 1, where there is a joyous mood, there a comrade will appear to share a glass of wine. This title sets the scene for this kind of convivial atmosphere of family and extended family and friends. It's based on a sort of sci-fi story in which a group of people are brought together, people of all different ages, in order to test a new kind of space travel using non-linear time. My interest in doing that was to think about different family structure and different kinds of, let's say, boundary between family and community. So I wanted to bring my children and some friends together to try to look at a different family structure within a sci-fi story idea. So that the people who we bring together try to understand non-linear time in terms of relationships between each other and the rest of the world. Well, I'll go back a bit into my kind of history as an artist, my development. I started off painting, and I turned to filmmaking with Super 8 and 16mm, later 16mm films. But in the last 8 to 10 years, I came back to painting, and this was because I wanted to change my practice as an artist, change my daily life so that I would continue with the rhythm of making films, which is very intense and then slow and then intense, but also have a daily practice where I could express myself in a more immediate way and develop my ideas more individually without other people and more spontaneously. So I tried to bring my painting into my films bring my children into my films and into my painting, and to try to look inward in my work and also reflect on my own surroundings rather than perhaps something further away from me, which I'd done in the past. So this is part of my way of living now, is trying to be more harmonious with my work. And I think this is more taking into account my family and my community.